Welcome back to another week of Keeping Up with Kramer here. This week we're going to be diving into the building of our new Ultramarathon training plan. So if you come here to get some inspiration or see how you should build a plan for Ultramarathon or any other type of endurance race, you come to the right place. Keep watching. We're going to dive into some of the ideas here, what our big goals and milestones are, and what we're trying to achieve here over the next few weeks. We're also going to dive into more details behind what the training block actually looks like. Week by week over the span of weeks and months, how we're going to get to those goals, and then just some general rules and guidelines that we're going to follow along the way to hopefully keep us from falling into the same pitfalls that snagged us up before. It's time for you guys to sit back and relax while I kind of break down what the plan looks like, what the training looks like, and how we got there, what our goals are. Thanks again for watching. Let's get right into it. So, if you didn't see my last video, you can click on it here. You can see what went wrong with my last run. Essentially, everything got derailed. We had this big plan to run this Sugar Badger 50-mile run in May. After I injured myself, my last run, it's been a slow recovery so far. Spending the whole week icing and researching and recovering and just taking the load off my feet and my knees so they can recover. And I picked up this book that's been recommended by a lot of YouTubers and influencers and stuff. It's called Training for the Uphill Athlete. And it has it kind of reads like a textbook, but a lot of details on training and background and the science behind it, what works, what doesn't. So I've been using that to influence what we're doing in this new training program. So I think what really caused my downfall was overtraining. Just going too hard, too fast, putting on too many miles and stacking them on way too quickly. So this next training block that we're working on is going to focus on a gradual increase to the training program, something that lets me build up mileage over a span of time, but not too quickly to where I hurt myself again. So after a week of not running and trying to revive myself from my injury, I'm back for my first run in a week. Took the whole week off, iced a whole bunch, rested a whole bunch, and I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm back doing just a couple miles, 2 or 3 today, to just kind of see if we're ready to get back into it. I plan to rest day tomorrow just to kind of further gauge how I'm feeling. And then if I'm feeling good, this week may map out to 50% of where we were originally in our running plan. So before I got hurt, I was at 43, 45 miles per week. Coming back post-injury, I'm looking to do 50% of what I was at my first week back, so it'd be a 20-mile week this week. The week after that, next week, is going to be 75% of where I was, so we'll call that 30 miles. And then in 3 weeks, the third week, I'll be back up to 40 miles. It's a bit of a stutter in our typical activities. It's not our standard videos, but we'll work through it. We'll get right back on track soon enough here. So We're going to run through what our overall goals and milestones are here right now. So to put it into writing and solidify it on this temporary erasable whiteboard, let me break out my 3 big goals for this new ultramarathon plan. And starting with number 1, the big overall goal, which shouldn't be much of a surprise to you guys. Number 1, big picture, the 50-mile race. All right, we're looking to do this in the fall this year. So there's a few options in October and November that I'm looking at. I'm trying to find out which one works the best, not just with my schedule, but with my fiance and the rest of my support system. 50-mile race is the overall big goal, part of the milestone of getting there, and a personal achievement for me, and also to make sure I have a successful run is going to be goal number 2. Goal number 2, which is 6 60-mile weeks. I read online that to finish the race, it's recommended to have 5 weeks at 40 plus miles per week, but to perform well in the race, it's recommended to have 5 weeks at 60 plus miles per week. So I'm looking to exceed that by 1 number because I like how the 6 and the 60 go together. It looks better that way. So we're looking to do 6 60-mile weeks in preparation for the big 50-mile race. Now, goal number 3 isn't so much running related. It will help out my running for sure by making me faster and more efficient on my feet. But in my training this year, starting from January, I've lost about 20 pounds intentionally, trying to cut down weight for my wedding in July. But one of my big goals is to lose a total of 40 pounds. Like I said, I'm already down 20 pounds already, so I have 20 more to go. Obviously, it gets harder as you go on. There's less fat to lose. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to get that other 20 pounds down, but also kind of be mindful in my strength training and whatnot to make sure that I'm not losing muscle that I need to perform in the race. To figure out how we're going to get to these goals, let's dive into the details, the training blocks and the plan week by week to find out what our path is and what we have to do every day to get to these points. So let's get right into that portion of it. All right, let's dive into the details of what this training block looks like here. My thought process is generally to stroke everything with a pretty broad brush. I find when it gets real into details about how many miles you should run each day, I feel like that opens me up to more opportunity for injury because it gets me to a point where if my knee is hurting or my leg is hurting, but my schedule says, oh, I have to do 10 today or 15 or 20 miles today, it just opens the door up for me trying to run through an injury to check a box. Starting off, I'll throw the chart up on the screen here that shows week by week how the chart kind of ebbs and flows and what each week is. So general guidelines are no more than 3 weeks of building before I do a rest week. So you'll see in my injury recovery week here, it's 3 weeks building up to that and then goes right into a building week here. With getting back to my 40 miles per week, I was at 43 when I got injured, so this takes me back to 40 miles a week. Slight step back, building up to 44, and then I'll take a rest week. And then right back to it, going from 44 miles to 47 miles, and then going up 3 miles per week from there. So it keeps the weekly increases to the total miles less than 10% increase per week. It's generally a good practice to build up your endurance and your length at a gradual pace that keeps you injury free. So I do 3 or 4 phases of just slow building as we go on here, with rest weeks in between. And then as we get closer, now that I've built up this aerobic base of health, as we get closer to the race, I go into an intensity week, which the building weeks are a lot of zone 1, zone 2 running. Low intensity, low impact, but for the most part, it's not too much strain on the body. I'm just building up an aerobic base. Once I get into the intensity week, the mileage still increases the same, except it's working in more zone 3 and zone 4, working at those higher intensity heart rate zones. It should be helping my endurance at that point, according to my book here. So we have 1 intensity week, and then we really get into the peak week, which is 2 peak weeks back to back, so 4 total. Really trying to dial in what we're going to be doing on race day. So focusing on those long runs, focusing on those big efforts, stuff that we can't do during the building weeks, because if we did, we'd get injured. So that's the goal. It's generally, I'm trying to keep it very vague, so I can kind of be flexible with my schedule. As long as I hit my total miles at the end of the week and we're focusing on the long run, I think that'd be a good starting point. That's the idea. If you're looking at building your own training plan, definitely look at some references online. I'd give this book a read, The Training for the Uphill Athlete. It's helping me out a little bit. Do I have more to learn? Definitely. If you know something that I don't, or if you see me being an idiot about something, throw it in the comments. I love the criticism, or I love the, maybe not criticism, but the input that you guys have, I think is super helpful to me, at least in this journey. Getting into my general rules and guidelines that I've set for myself to keep me injury-free and stop me from running into the same thing that happened last time, and it happened in my marathon training too. I made mistakes that have led to my injury, so some rules I set for myself to hopefully help me avoid those situations. Starting with number 1 is sticking to an 80-20 split between 80% zone 1, zone 2 workouts and 20% higher intensity workouts. If that teeters into more 70-30, I start getting in trouble with my injuries. Now, the hardest part is trying to stay in that zone 2 range on your long runs or on your runs in general. You have to consciously sometimes hold yourself from going faster because you know you can go faster. But keeping yourself at that steady zone 2 pace is the sweet spot to keep going injury-free. Rule number 2 is 7 hours of sleep minimum every night. It's easy to get into bad habits of staying up late, watching TikToks on your phone, or staying up watching TV or playing video games. So many reasons not to go to bed. If you're recovering just as hard as you're training, if you take your recovery just as seriously, it's a path to set you up for success. Put in all these miles to try to increase your fitness and your endurance, but you're not giving your body the chance to recover. All this training's for nothing because your body's not getting stronger, it's getting weaker. You're not giving it time to grow. So 7 hours of sleep minimum a night. Rule number 3 is to pay more attention. One of the commenters on my last video, I forget his name, but I'll drop his comment right here, said how important stretching and his rolling out the foam roller is for his health and recovery. It's something that I lack in, so it's a rule I set for myself, is to have more intentional recovery, stretching, mobility, rolling out, the Theragun, massage gun. All those are important tools in recovery and your health. It's a portion of my training that I've been lacking in, so that's rule number 3, is to focus more on the Theragun. Rule number 4 is very similar. It's just being more intentional with the warm-ups and the cool-downs. In the winter, it's not warming up outside, but it's easy to open the door, feel the cold, and just say, screw it, I'm just going to start running, no warm-up. I'm cold, let's just get this over with. But I have to be more intentional with my warm-ups and my cool-downs. Rule number 5 is lifting. So I've slacked on my lifting. I was very good about it, and then as the mileage ramped up, my lifting faded away. So I have to be more intentional and always keep that in the plan. I put 3 days a week. Some recommendations in this book said some weeks it's going to be 2 days a week. Regardless of what it is, I had to be intentional about strength, lifting, and not just only working on running, but working on the other portion of fitness, which is strength. So if you want to see me implement this plan over the next 6 months, hit the subscribe button. We're posting videos every week along the way, just kind of documenting my journey to this 50-mile ultramarathon. So tag along with us for the journey. I appreciate everybody so far who's subscribed and followed along. We have a long way to go. So we kind of hit a roadblock recently, but we're bouncing back slowly, cautiously. We'll get right back into it. So thanks again. I hope you guys have a great week. We'll circle back up with you again next week. We'll see you.